So, quick thing up here. How's everything looking? Those are newest plants. On the sides are my old house plants. Some are really thriving. Some are just doing what they usually do, and some are, dead or gone or dying. Anyway, let's start off with the houseplants, I guess. Pothos, no surprise, loves out here in North Carolina. I don't really water it. It gets watered when it rains, and it's still doing its thing. This, philodendron Brazil, mostly dead. Some of the newer ones on here are actually doing perfectly fine, but the ones over here are kind of like, not doing their best. That's fine. This Hoya, actually both Hoyas, but especially this one, taken off. There's a trellis there. But you see how it's vined up the rack and is really vining on anything. In fact, it's vining, or it's trying to vine, or has vined several times. I've taken it off of the now dead scindapsus. But don't worry, I've taken cuttings. They're growing fine and lekker. The Marantas are so-so. This was growing nice. I guess it's still growing technically, but maybe I guess after a hot day, it's like, or do I die? This some of my Marantha, really resilient. Look at this white flower. Weren't you? Oh no, it's like purple. It's pretty white. I feel like it was purple paint before. Anyway, it also has cuttings, so that one seems to be still doing out really nice here. Pretty much the same. My Aglaonema dead, dying. I might have to cut it back, cut the canes. Oh, Miss Ma'am, why are you turned around? Did I do that? I'm sorry. This Enjoy, my sister got me. She had it as a cutting, and actually it's thriving out here. She had it inside. A bunch of things are dying and dead. Most of my houseplants are doing okay, though. So I actually planted some onion seeds there, some bunching onion seeds there. I don't think they did anything. That should be, maybe next to it also is an onion, but that should be at least one of them. A blue bachelor's button. So that, one of the first things we got here, some Cuban oregano. Whoever does Cuban oregano. I got the spearmint that I cut back, trying to bushy it up. I think there's some new growth on the bottom, but it's taking a while. But obviously there's a runner, so I'm not really worried because the mint will take over. Whatever, blah blah. This is my sister's cordyline she had last year. She put it out this year, but then she's a puppy now, and the puppy toxicity, blah blah blah. So I took it. It had grown. All the bottom leaves were off, so I cut it up, and this, I think, is a new leaf. That I'm not sure if it was opening or if it was growing, but it's opened here. But they're all, well, these are the two old ones. But the cut portions are seemingly well rooted in there as well. And then I bought 2 geraniums, 1 begonia, a tray of 8 vinca, and 1 petunia. The geranium, because I don't water it out here unless it's like several days of heat, because that's pretty much what it is. The geranium has either died, or actually maybe there's some new growth on it. Anyway, because it's like, I think the wind is too, it's too close to the heavy winds. I'm gonna have to put it behind something. I'm gonna have to move things around. I don't know that though. I like the red where it is in terms of color. The begonia taken off. You can see earlier videos, but it's definitely grown some in height. The vinca, at least white vinca, might be a new favorite plant for me. But the geranium, I want it to come back. I think it's getting overwatered in the front up here. Even though the pink geranium isn't doing the work, I'm going to pull them back. I'm going to have to move this around anyway soon enough, because I need that black tray on top of. Yeah, and then my marigolds are coming in. I planted marigolds and alyssum and bachelor's buttons, and I think some helichrysum, a bunch of stuff. Looks like only the marigolds came up. Other things came up, but then they died because of too much heat, blah, blah, blah. So marigolds, tried and true. And then you're like, what is this, right? So I had this bucket of old plant matter. I think it's in the first video. I just was putting all my old plant whatever in there. Old plant leaves, blah, blah, blah. And it got rained on like the first day. So then I was just sitting in soup for like a couple days because I didn't drill. I thought it had a hole, but I think the hole was covered or something, blah, blah, blah. So I drilled more holes. It dried out. It's still very wet, despite the fact that I don't think it's gotten rained on yet. Anyway, I threw some squash seeds in there as a joke, half as a joke. Here they go. So I just piled them up in their own containers now. We'll see how that does if they grow, and then we'll have to figure out about that. But yeah, so still waiting for some things to die. Some waiting for some not. I also repotted this petunia in this pot, and I think it looks gorgeous. I had it just sitting in a store pot in another cash pot, but now it's potted up. But we'll see how much this needs to be watered or not. But this is gorgeous. The color, contrast, new flowers opening up, some closing. We love it. Just the one great purchase. I don't. Of my new purchases, I'm not upset with anything, obviously. So anyway, that's pretty much the update. See down here. My sister's calathea that I told her to give me, and we'll see what it does. I think it was growing, and then again the heat, like that was a new leaf. I don't know if it's gonna come back or not as the heat abates. Blah blah blah. So we're also heading into a heat wave, but you see this heart-shaped philodendron just. I feel like it was lush like this before, but I feel like it's also looking lusher now. Let me pull back. Then also another Hoya that's doing fantastic. So my red Maranta back there. I haven't really watered my jewel orchid. Might be overwatered. I'm just leaving it be. That one might be alive. I don't know. There's there. And the petunia, though, she apparently loves where it's at. Aglaonema that's fussy but not dead, and actually also kind of growing. And then this that used to be like a mixed planter of succulents, and it's now just the one Dracaena and a bunch of Paeonia. So that's where we're at right now. I'm in the part of my plant journey where I'm like, plant journey here. Now I'm a seasonal garden girl. So I'm supposed to like house plant, same plant year round, and it changes every year. Now it's like this plant might die this season. Oh well. Again, no, that's who I am now. So okay, so it's like at least 2 hours later, and I moved some plants around. So I put the cucurbit, whatever they are, in with the marigolds back in this back under the cover. That is just going to have to be open to the elements. I had some of these. I had these on this, but I'm going to clean that and take that inside for the cats. Anyway, so the geraniums, now the whole color scheme is disrupted, partly anyway. The geraniums are off to the side. I need this to bush out to provide some shade, but presumably the height at least of the container will provide some shade, maybe. Yes, everything is just pushed over here. This should be coming in soon. And this should be bushing out. Those herbs should be bushing out. Hopefully, at least one of them is the bachelor's buttons. Yeah, hopefully the bachelor's buttons bush out and they're blue and they're tall, and that provides more shade. We're going very prairie chic. I probably will at some point get some other type of shelf because I need more space. So once I get some other shelf, I'll probably try and level things up. Ideally, I'd get like one of those step things, but we'll see. We'll see if those succulents survive or not. That aloe was out here and it was getting overwatered, but it seems to be like rooted now. Same with those other Haworthia and whatnot. Yes, now it's just really just waiting to see what dies and what doesn't. And then I'm thinking, there's at least like 20 marigolds in there. Probably going to put some with the squash. But the other ones, I think I'm just going to put them in their own separate pots and then scatter them throughout. If only I had more. Let me see. It's like 8 in each. Oh, there's definitely more than 20. Definitely more than 20. I'm probably going to plant more at some point. I still have some seeds. So, anyway. Yeah.